So once upon a time, there was a monster, a demon, that lived inside a bottle. And in that bottle, they stewed and they festered until had nothing but contempt for anyone that would touch them. They became isolated, I guess you could say. And then one little dipshit named Aladdin rubbed that bottle, cleaned it off a little bit. And out popped a demon called the jinn. It's a pre-Islamic evil demon. And what is it associated with? Well, it would come out and it would grant you 3 wishes. And this jinn would be malevolent. Say, I will give you what you wish. And then somebody wished for his mother back. You got a zombie. Flesh and all, just resurrected from the dead. Rotted and decayed, decrepit, no heartbeat. She was back. She was reanimated. Just not as he envisioned. Well, the moral of this story, of course, is to be careful what you wish for. And I seem to remember a wish from, it's a little bit of a flashback, I guess, from 2019, where the Democrats were constantly saying, there's going to be a recession, and that's how we'll beat Trump. The recession could beat Trump. We need a recession to beat Trump. We need the markets to crash to defeat Trump. Well, careful what you wish for, you crazy motherfuckers, because you might well get it, right? Of course, the ones wishing for this probably won't be that affected. Probably have millions in the bank. Probably will just be very comfortable and cozy. Could work from home like me. But either way, careful what you wish for, right? Well, will a recession defeat Trump? A new forecast says yes, by Greg Sargent. Well, he reads on to say new court forecasts from respected political scientist Alan Abramowitz finds the answer to the question to be yes. A severe recession could produce a bigger Trump loss, most pundits expect. So, pundits expect it. This weird person who apparently thinks he's a political scientist and can predict the future, says it will happen. Only time will settle the prediction to be correct. Well, I have a theory. The people that are saying yes, something like this will defeat Trump, have TDS. They're fucking insane. And they're probably the same people that wished for a recession upon people in the first place. So, I'd like to take you back through memory lane, if I may, and go back to August 14th. The 2020 Democratic wannabes shouldn't count on a recession to beat Trump. This guy reads on, and it's an interesting read. When will the recession hit? Will there be a recession? The poor tense in the fucking goat stomach said yes. So the idea that this will destroy Trump is fun. Yes, it's absolutely fun. Well, this is the line that stood out for me in this article. Democrats and liberals now find themselves in an uncomfortable position of secretly wishing the recession would come as quickly as possible so that the American public might blame President Trump for it and kick him out of office. Blame President Trump for it. And believe me, it's happening. But the only ones that are blaming President Trump for it are the far left liberals in their little bubble thinking that that's how things work. Clearly, Trump developed and produced this virus. Clearly, Trump didn't act quick enough, and in some cases that's true. In not so many terms. They're trying to get up everything possible to say, no, he didn't do his job quick enough. And it's been entertaining to watch, to say the least. But the fact of the matter is he's doing better than expected for the kind of person that he is. I would have much more expected him to be a complete failure. But then I remember this thing right here. Oh, shut up. Bill Maher stands by recession remarks. Very worth getting rid of Trump. Well, Mr. Bill Maher, I sent you a tweet. I'm pretty sure you don't read those. You don't check your DMs and you don't check anything else. So maybe this video will work, Mr. Maher. I actually liked your show. I do. I like your show quite a bit. The absolute fucking social justice meltdown of what's his ass against wow, my brain's not working on names right now, where he tried to say it's racist to say Islam's a piece of shit. Ben Affleck, that's who it is. Ben Affleck's meltdown in front of Sam Harris. Yeah, and it took a minute. His meltdown was hilarious. It was on your show. You've had quite a few interesting people on your show. Have you ever dared to bring on President Trump? I wonder if he would. I know Joe Rogan would. He's not a coward. Bill Maher, you are. Absolutely a coward. You wished for a recession. Sure, the stocks would slip a bunch, and it's just money. Who cares, right? Do you know what's required for something like that to happen? A global pandemic's a good one. How about with that global pandemic, millions of people lose their job? Right now, I think I saw last week 3.3 million people just got fired over the weekend because the companies that hired them can't afford to pay them. And really, it comes down to they can't afford the health insurance and all that while they're not making any money. Like, they're closed down. You can't do shit. Zero income coming in. They cannot pay the bills to keep their people there. And this fucking Congress and Senate that we have, and the House, they don't know their head from a hole in the ground. Nancy Pelosi writes a bill about social justice. Basically, social justice deserves money because diversity and inclusion and diversity and inclusion and so on and so forth. Well, anyways, I thought I'd point out that he said that on air. We need a recession to beat Trump. Yeah. And in this video that's attached to The Hill, The Hill's trash, by the way, they asked him, what about this trade deal thing with China? Well, I think China's fucked at this point. I think we should pull back. I think all those manufacturing jobs should come back here. Yes, some stuff may get more expensive. But I think it's worth it at this point. But then again, the crazy leftists will also want $15 minimum wage. Well, those manufacturing plants won't be going to those states. I can guarantee you that. So, good luck with that, stupid assholes. Rooting for a recession is dangerous, especially under Trump. August 16th, unless Democrats offer real alternatives, an economic downturn will only lead to more misery and social strife. Somebody got it right in the nation. Bill Maher is featured here because that's the asshole that wished for it. Well, I have to agree. Democrats offer real alternatives, an economic downward retreat, misery, and social strife. Well, it's definitely pulling the misery card out. There is people losing their jobs. There are people miserable all over the world because of this pandemic. You go outside and so much as sneeze in public and everybody fucking freaks out at you. You cough in public, everybody freaks out. I have year-round allergies, so sneezing and coughing's within my repertoire, as it were. I'm kind of screwed there, huh? I'm going to offend a lot of people. Let's go on to the next one. August 16th, Trump's reelection and the recession risk. This person says that his ratings have been consistent, and they kind of have been. They've been rising, actually. And A lot of people have been wishing for a recession, and it could be on the horizon, and that's the only thing that would make him just fail. It says here that Trump is already unpopular, and he is likely to get more so if the economy turns south, perhaps to the point of all ensuring his opponent wins next year. So if we have an economic downturn, we're going to have Joe Biden. We would all like to see Trump gone in 2021. Who's we? Josh Barro, Benjamin Hart, and Eric Levitz? I think that's the we they refer to. This is an intelligentsia. Yeah. New York Magazine. We would all. Yes, sure. Who's we? No, you all. Don't include we. That's an unfortunate statement. The Columbus Dispatch, a little bit lower local. Ohio Republican Party leader says Democrat wants a recession to beat Trump. Yes, she did. Ohio Republican Chair Janet Timken talks about accomplishments during people's blah, 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 blah. And she accused the Democrats of wishing for a recession to help them beat Trump. They have. August 26th. Bill Maher just voiced it, that's all. He was the first voice to say it. But there was article after article after article. I've only gone through, 5? One from March of this year, and all the way back in August. I could go further, but there was a ton out in August because of Bill Maher, so I'm going to cover it. Would you rather recession or Trump? A downturn would crater Trump's odds of reelection. It would also create much inequity, misery, and the chaos Democrats seek to avoid by winning 2020. Chaos is an understatement, but you fuckers wished for this. You kept on asking for it. Only a recession will beat the almighty Trump, the God Emperor, the whatever the fuck you think he is. He's an asshole in a chair. That's what he is. But yes, apparently you'd refer a recession because y'all are hamming it up right now. There's nothing about, oh my God, Trump's gains in the last 3 years are gone in just 1 month or something like that. Don't look at your 401k, anybody that thinks they're retiring. You're fucked. I can tell you that much right now. I looked at mine. That was a bad mistake. Well, you guys wished for it. That was August 22nd. Let's move on. August 24th. Get out of my way, you stupid ad. History suggests a recession may doom Trump's re-election chances. Trump is worried that there will be a recession for 2020 re-election. For once, he is right about something. Well, he's been right about a lot of things, actually, which is kind of weird. Y'all don't mind the border security now, do you? Y'all don't mind the focus on bringing jobs back to America now, do you? You don't mind some of the other contemplating things that he's done. Now do you? Tim Pool did a great video on why Trump's policies have been proven right. I suggest y'all watch it. I've shared it out far and wide because of another reason. And it showed within 2 months, the media has decided to flip the script and lie about fucking everything. It's pretty pathetic. And now they won't show his press briefings, because he's speaking directly to the people. Now they're becoming the Trump rallies that they so much hate. And they're realizing, well, shit, people are actually now able to hear his voice and hear what he's saying, and he's not that bad. Orange man, not so bad. Oh, we better get a hold of that narrative. Orange man, bad again. Because that's all you hear. He said this. That is incorrect. He said this. We fact-checked it. No, you didn't fact check it. You bias checked it. That's what you did. Well, let's move on, shall we? Democrats rooting for recession. The drumbeat for an economic contraction is nonstop. August 25th. He talked to investors, not exactly an audience of the left-wing activists, who kept asking the question all day, will there be a recession? I would never say never, but I don't see a recession in 2020. And if we get a trade deal with China, the economy is going to soar. What was disconcerting was the audience's reaction. Many frowned. One woman shouted, "I want a reception just so we can get rid of Trump." This is investors in San Francisco. Democratic leaning San Francisco, shit on the streets, needles everywhere, and plague center of the East Coast. Or West Coast, excuse me. Want a recession to defeat Trump. August 25th. Well, motherfuckers, you got it. You got your economic downturn. You got all those millions of people without a job now. How are you enjoying it? Do you like that house arrest that you're in right now? Where the mayors and governors are supposed to, oh my God, do their fucking job for a change? And there's only a few of them, democratically run, mind you, only a few, that are squealing, saying the federal government needs to do this now. The federal government needs to use these powers now. The Production Defense Act, I can't remember what it was called. They want it right now. Why? Didn't you guys say that he was a democratic or a dictator, authoritarian dictator, that he'd use all his powers whatsoever to destroy this fucking country? And here he is not using dictatorial powers and telling the states to do their job. The governors of the states, do your job. States before federal. We're decentralized for a reason. If you don't have the manufacturing capabilities in your state, why not? What happened to those jobs? The investors, what did they do? If we don't have enough ventilators and we have to rely on China to build them, well, China got fucked first, didn't they? They can't produce anything. Now, can they? Where's our production facilities for these things? It doesn't exist. Why? Because you guys pushed it overseas and thought it would be a great idea to lower costs. Investors. And you're right. It was, because labor is cheap over there. So is child labor. Good idea, right? Very good idea. Now, when there's something that we needed, it's not available. Good job. I'm very proud of you. But let's continue. CNBC 2020 elections. A recession in 2020 would hurt Trump, but it wouldn't necessarily sink his reelection. August 27th. This person's comments, he would talk about all Trump's tweets because why not? They're fanatics. But there wasn't necessarily anything interesting under here other than leftist talking points that people just keep wishing for this shit and refer back to the history books. But the fun thing about this is I don't know why he compares it to Truman, but they wish that in a recession it might not happen, is what they're trying to tell people, because the history books don't necessarily agree. But they sure as fuck hope for it now, don't they? His reckless actions drove his own companies to bankruptcy. Now they threaten the global economy and risk a recession that will hurt working families hardest. Actually, she's partly right. A recession will hit the working families hardest because the Senate, part of them, sold off millions of dollars worth of stock before the market crashed, and they probably rebought that stock as soon as it hit rock bottom, because why not? You can double your shareholdings, and make a shit ton of bank when we come out of this little slump. But yeah, she's not wrong. It's not his reckless actions, though. You guys were trying to impeach him in January when this outbreak started to get all over the fucking place. He put a travel ban in place against China. You guys called him racist and said a whole bunch of other nasty things. And then the media, your friends and all that fun shit, started to lie about the coronavirus and called it the Wuhan virus, and you called it the Chinese virus. Yes, not Trump, but y'all. And you kept on with all this shit. It's not as bad as the flu, or the flu's worse because it kills more people, infects more people, shit like that. And it's It was pretty pathetic, to be honest. Really, really, really pathetic. Well, going back to the top and the title of this article, recession in 2020 would hurt Trump, but not necessarily sink his reelection. Well, it did not hurt Trump. His ratings and approval ratings and the way he's handled this have been going up because all of you have been, well, sharing and basking in the glory of Trump. You've been trying to get that Trump bump, and he's been doing daily press briefings, and then you call him out on stupid shit that he says. And leave out context because why not? Like that reporter that was an absolute douchebag berating Trump, and then he says you're a horrible piece of shit, basically. And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that to a reporter. That's very, it's like, dude, did you not listen to anything he said before then? You didn't, did you? No, you didn't. You just took the little bit of context that made him sound bad because Orange Man bad. The rest of us listened to the whole thing and said, what the fuck? This guy's a dick. He's another Jim Acosta. Jim Acosta does the same goddamn thing. That's why nobody likes him. Well, now nobody likes this other guy too. I hope. He's an asshole. Which brings me back to the last one, the March 19th, 2020. New forecast says this will defeat Trump. Whose new forecast? Because his rating's up, his approval rating's up, his voting is up, and if you guys were watching the primaries, more people voted for him than the other competent or incompetent competition. When you have a state vote 1.5 million times in a primary they don't have to vote for, just to make sure that he's the nominee, it should have sent a statement to you. Yay, you Democrats won X, Y, and Z state because that's where the race really is. Meanwhile, your competition was getting more votes than you. All we saw was your split and fragmented base, voting for who they thought would be the best person to defeat Trump, because that's really what matters, right? It's not the votes or anything about doing the right thing or your policies. Like, unfortunately, she dropped out now, but Tulsi Gabbard, I would have voted for her actually, had she won the primary. But no, I'm now going to vote for Trump because you guys are fucking crazy. You've destroyed this country. And that's past tense. You wished for this to happen. You bitched for it to happen. Your fanatical obsession to remove Trump from office made this not a necessity, distracted him from his job, so that he couldn't do it right. So what are we supposed to think? That you guys are good people? All you care about is defeating Trump. You think this recession will help you. And might as well call it recession. Everything fucking tanked. And tanked hard. Because we had to go on lockdown. Because of a crazy goddamn virus. Which I covered yesterday. Or the day before. I don't know. Time blurs together when you're stuck at home. And you have to work from home too. So, at any rate, I think I'll leave it there. This is about 25 minutes of me going over a history just in August of last year, but it was all over the fucking news last year. There's indicators of a recession. A recession may be coming. Here comes a recession. Fucking recession, recession, recession. You lost the Russia. You needed something else, right? That's pretty much what it was. A recession's coming. The portents say, the economic numbers here say. It's like, really? Really? None of that says that. And you guys can't help yourselves, can you? Seriously, can't help yourselves. This is what you wished for. And I bring it back to my gin analogy. You wished for this. You did not think of the consequences of your wish, now did you? You wished for a recession. You didn't think what that meant. That meant millions of people losing their jobs, millions of people suffering just so you could beat the Orange Man. How sick and disgusting do you have to be? That's like people wishing that somebody will catch this virus and die from it. It's the same thing. Because that's the problem right now. We got a massive virus spreading out that can kill people. More so than the flu, by the way. Since you guys were saying that a couple months ago and didn't have a problem with trying to say that now Trump says that. Or Trump says don't worry about it. When he's trying to downplay the panic after reading shit that you guys wrote. Well, careful what you wish for. You just might get it.
If you don't listen to me, you're going to regret it.